Hello, everybody. We're going to get started. Everything's a little off on my screen today. Zoom did some updates. Looks like you can heart stuff and reactions and all kind of cool stuff down there. We'll have to play with some other time. We're going to get started Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. is our FastTrack lesson. We teach FastTrack through those pre-records and through 5 live lessons every week, culminating in Friday, us all taking the test, passing the test, and earning the FastTrack badge. And we hope that you'll do that as much and as often as you will. That's why I've been able to keep my weight off, is staying close to the fundamentals. The fundamentals are different than what we're taught. So this is what works. I don't care what program it is. If it's not about calorie deficit, muscle preservation, and insulin control being the priority, you're not going to lose anything but water weight. You're going to lose it, gain it, probably forever. You have to control insulin, and we do that by not consuming empty calories all the time. We need specific days during our month where if we want to take off and have some empty calories, white bread, white rice, white pasta, and all their kinfolks, colas and candies, we take those days off and we have it. But those other days, we need to be controlling insulin. It takes 2 perfect days to get your insulin levels in a range where you can efficiently lose body fat. Then you just lock it down and rip off the fat burning knob. It's that simple. If you're new here or not, we would love for you to take our advice. And I promise you'll thank me and hopefully just thank the Lord later instead of me. But when you go in here, okay, you go into your dashboard, click dashboard, and then you go to FastTrack. This is where you want to stay. You want to stay in the FastTrack dashboard. You want to go through the laps. You got 7 laps to go through. We go through all of this stuff each and every week, point you in the right direction. There's some things you have to do because 30 minutes a day isn't enough to get through it all. So you'll watch the FastTrack videos. You've got all your downloadable resources, your food combination chart right here, everything you're going to need to be successful, along with the support we offer here Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock. You've got your FastTrack welcome, quick overview, water journal, food combinations, portion control, and timing. So we've talked about that. That's the shibboleth shield. We discussed that during lesson 2. Today, we're going to be talking about the food categories. We're going to be discussing about how whole foods break down, what foods we should be focused on. We should be focused on foods that grow from the ground and foods that roam the earth, unless you've chosen to be a vegan. Y'all can't hear me? Y'all can't hear me? You can hear me? Jill can't hear me, but everybody else can. Is that right? Thumbs
yes,
up.
I can hear you.
Okay, so only Jill can't hear me. Sorry, Jill. Will somebody type in sorry, Jill? Okay, so food categories, foods that grow from the ground, foods that roam the earth. Now, we know that we like our Cheetos. We know that we like our Doritos, and we've got void replacements for all that stuff. What we're going to look at today isn't the only foods approved, but it's how we learn nutrition. How to categorize foods that break down a certain way, and they have that in common. Then we can learn about all the items in the inner aisles of our grocery stores that we can make work, but we have to force them to work through proper food combining. But we start with learning whole food nutrition. You know, you will hear, if you hang around a long time, I can't do shibboleth because all they do is talk about processed goods. Couldn't be further from the truth. We start everybody off with whole foods. You don't need to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Just because we tell you can have a Diet Coke doesn't mean that you should. We're telling you if that's your thing, it's not going to hurt you if you drink it this way or whatever that thing is that you're used to having. So whole food, these are nutrient-dense foods that God has provided that if we combine them the right way, we can control insulin. And there's really nothing that you can't have. So going into our food categories, I'm going back to our dashboard. and then I'm going to the food library. And we've got 7 categories. We categorize foods. When I started 20 years ago, I had 6 categories. Now we have 7 because behavior modification 101. We used to have shellfish in the category 1 with all the lean proteins because they work just as good as every lean protein here on the board. We moved them out because people would see shrimp in there and go, I'm allergic to shrimp, can't eat shrimp. Or I'm Jewish and I can't eat shrimp, or whatever it was. And we found out people will quit. So we had to take it out, segregate the shellfish from the other lean proteins. That's the only reason we have 7 categories today. So we have lean proteins. Now, when you're looking through the list, we want you to favorite your favorite foods. If you become a member or actually a partner or Faithfully Fit member, you'll have an assistant that can help you come up with your personalized meal plans. But we can't do that through the website if you're not telling us what you like, or otherwise we're just guessing. We're throwing darts in the dark, and that will never work. So when you see stuff you like, favorite them, and you may go through a season where you don't like them anymore. A friend of mine, Connie, last night said, used to eat shrimp, that's why I favorited it. I'd done a personal meal plan, and she said, is there anything I have besides shrimp? And I said, well, yeah, but I thought you liked it. She just forgot to unmark it because she's going through a season when she's not going to be eating any shrimp. So your assistant that's in the website for our partners and Faithfully Fit members only goes by what you've hearted. So we look through here and we go in and heart it or unheart it or whatever. You've got things like 96% lean ground meat of any type, beef, turkey, chicken, doesn't matter to me. From a macronutrient standpoint, these are all the same. Ground meat is ground meat. When we're looking at meats right off the bone that's not processed, we don't use any formula. We only use meat formulas when we're talking about processed meat like ground beef or ground chicken or ground turkey. For it to go in category 1, it has to be 96% lean or better. Then you can just add it to your grocery list with this little button right here. Go in the grocery store, focus on your list, not on what they got. Boar's Head, lots of Boar's Head products are approved, like Boar's Head London broil, Boar's Head maple glazed ham, Boar's Head turkey breast, and so forth. Catfish, chicken breast, codfish. Chicken breast, if it doesn't matter the brand, just make sure it's chicken breast. How do we know if meat is meat? It won't have carbohydrate. If a meat has carbohydrate, they've infused something into it, usually starch. So you want to double check, make sure you're getting meat and nothing infused. However, if it does have 1 gram of carbohydrate, it's not a big deal. They put a little starch in it, but not a big deal. But chicken breast is chicken breast, regardless of brand. Fish, all fish is approved, like flounder. All fish goes in this category. Egg whites, fat-free cottage cheese, low-fat cottage cheese, grouper fish, Greek plain yogurt, Oikos 000 yogurt, sea bass, tilapia, tuna, turkey breast, venison. I can see that I need to add some more. We've been revitalizing our list. Lisa, we need to add 97% lean Hebrew National Franks in there. And there's some other things I'll get with you that I see is missing, but we need to add that one for sure. So like you're looking for a hot dog. Well, there's a Frank, Hebrew National Frank or smoked white turkey Franks. They're lean enough to go here. All of these are interchangeable. So when you're looking in a meal plan or you're looking at a food combination that says egg whites and you don't like egg whites, you can exchange it with anything in this system. Now, keep in mind, this is your FastTrack list. If I go to resources, after you've earned your FastTrack badge, it should be locked up until you've earned your FastTrack badge. Then you've got the big library. It's so big, it'll blow your mind. There are thousands and thousands of approved foods in this library. If I just click lean protein, you'll see there's a lot more on this list than there was in our little list. And then you just keep showing more. There's just more and more and more. All of these that are in this category 1, keep in mind that every one of them are interchangeable with every one of them here. Let me stop that now. Does that make sense to you? I often hear that, hey, I just am tired of eating chicken and broccoli. I'm tired of eating the same thing. And it lets me know that their mind hasn't been open to the variety. because there's tens of thousands of meal ideas that we can come up with. So do you see that you've got a category to learn, and then we can go to the big library, and everything in category 1 is interchangeable with that list. Does everybody see that? With shibboleth, if you ever feel like, and you'll see this in the group, you'll see members say, I'm bored with my food. There's just not enough to eat. That there's something missing in translation, because there's thousands of approved foods and there's hundreds of foods in each category. And if we begin with the end in mind, all of those foods break down in a way that they pretty much do the same thing, with this exception. We have some experienced members here, so I'll let you help me, and you can show everybody that you do learn this stuff, right? So, for example, in category 1, in the same category is codfish and low-fat cottage cheese. Those are both in that category. Which one's going to be better for weight loss? They're very similar.
A whole food fish.
The fish is. Do we know why?
Because it's not pre-digested.
That's right. Cindy hit it. It's not even over the chemicals or anything. It's from a weight loss perspective. Chicken breast, fish, even 96% lean ground beef is going to be better for weight loss than, say, low-fat cottage cheese or Greek plain yogurt, because of what Cindy said. Those are pre-processed. They've been pureed, so to speak. A lot of the digestion has already been accomplished. Cheryl says our body has to work harder. That's right. So we get more blood flow to the digestive system, and we're rebuilding our metabolism. You've got to start thinking about your metabolism like you do a muscle. I hear people say, I used to have really, really muscular legs, and now there's no muscle tone. Well, it's because they've atrophied, right? They've atrophied because we quit using them. And then the blood flow is not going to the quad muscle like it used to, and the cells have minimized. We can reconstitute them fast. It's the same way with your digestive system. If you're eating mush all the time, everybody say mush. If you're eating mush, you're going to look like mush, because you're not that lean living tissue that is your internal metabolism that's a big raging fire. You're putting it out, actually. There's a time to eat. Like, I have no problem having some low-fat cottage cheese in the morning with some cinnamon or with some berries. No problem. I'm getting the amino acids I need, but I'm not going to eat mush all day. By dinner time, I'm having me a piece of meat or something like hemp hearts or hemp flakes. I'm having something. My body's got to work a little bit on the protein or the fiber and control that fat bus too. So I'm not opposed to having that pureed, pre-digested stuff if it's whole food. But I just want you to know it's like this. One of the best ways to lose weight in the beginning is shibboleth simplified. 2 approved meal replacements and 1 whole food meal. The meal replacements aren't getting the blood flow, but it controls your portion and gives you the aminos you need, and it simplifies your day. Then the whole food meal gets that blood flow to the digestive system. Am I making sense? But you just don't need to eat mush all day, even if it's approved mush, because you're not getting the blood flow to the digestive system that you need to be getting to the digestive system. Okay, so protein breaks down into amino acids. We feed and fuel the muscle. We preserve it during times of calorie deficit. Then you have fibrous carb. Along with lean protein, fibrous carb doesn't just help with digestion. It also helps shut down the fat bus. The more we slow down digestion with fiber and protein, the less insulin activity we're going to get. And that's what we're looking for. So when I put a 1 and a 2 together, a lean protein and a fibrous carb, I have some chicken breast and a salad with approved dressing. I've got exercise on a plate. I'm not even going to leave fat burning mode, because I didn't give my body anything to burn energy-wise. I give my body muscle preservation, tools, and I give my body fiber. So when I eat, for example, if I have some, let's say, I have a tuna steak and some collard greens and some rice cauliflower. That's exercise on a plate if I control my portion. It's ridiculous. I never leave fat burning because my body's got to dive even deeper during calorie deficit into my fat reserves to find the energy to even break the food down. Category 2 fibrous carb, awesome. You got broccoli, exercise on a stalk, asparagus, elliptical on a stem, collard greens, lettuce, jicama, kale, mushrooms, okra, peppers, spinach, squash, all squash. I love yellow squash. Stew me some squash and give me a hamburger steak patty and some Worcestershire sauce, and I'm in heaven. And that's exercise on a plate. So these two categories, they're never going to do you harm as long as you portion control. Then you've got your energy carbs. These are delicious. They're good for you. Butter beans, carrots, corn, grits, lima beans, long grain brown rice, oatmeal, onions, peas, potatoes, quinoa, sweet potato, tomato, whole wheat bread, whole wheat pasta. They're good, but they're energy. Complex carbohydrate give the body immediate energy. So if you're in fat burning mode, do you stop when you consume carbohydrate, everybody? Do you stop burning fat immediately when you consume carbohydrate? Me too, Joseph. You do. You stop. Now, listen to this. This is good teaching. If you're trying to lose weight, if that's your goal is to lose body fat, we say lose weight, but what we're really after is body fat. You're in a calorie deficit and you're controlling insulin. You're in fat burning mode. You give yourself a carbohydrate that's good for you, but full of energy, your body immediately can stop using its reserve energy and use this energy that's incoming. Now, how long are you going to go out of fat burning? It depends on two things. It depends on, did you control insulin with eating this food with a protein and fiber? If you did and you didn't overeat it, within a couple of hours, you can be back in fat burning mode because you've used the carbs, you controlled insulin, you get back in a calorie deficit, you're right back to burning fat. Does that statement make sense? Because this is the core of the physiological parts of our program. It's what makes it work from a physiological standpoint. Is everybody with me there? Or need clarification? So hear this. If I eat a carbohydrate by itself, same amount of calories, but it processes faster without the protein and fiber, now I've got insulin activity, and too much insulin activity could impede my fat burning progress for up to 2 days, depending on the amount of insulin activity. If I overeat it, keep in mind, you're only burning 70 to 80 calories an hour if you're not working out. If I overeat it, if I eat more than my fair share of it in that eating episode, your body will use the carbohydrates as an energy source. You've got insulin preventing you from losing fat later, and you also take the overage of carbohydrate that your body didn't need over the next hour or two and take it and turn it into fat and store it as fat. Isn't that crazy? Deborah says, so basically you slowed it, but don't blow it. That's right. You slowed it. I like that, Deborah. I'm going to steal that. Did you hear, Deborah? If I have it with a 1 and 2 and I control my portion, I slowed my fat burning, but I didn't blow it. And that's what we're after. More days in EFB or getting back in EFB quicker with the time we have here upon this planet Earth. Make sense? So how would I eat a potato if I'm craving a potato? I would have a 1/4 cup of potato if I'm have a fat burning goal. I have my chicken breast and my squash and my potato on a portion plate. I'm good to go. What if I'm in maintenance? Can I have more than a 1/4 cup of potato? You can. You can have a 1/2 cup of potato. Let me mute this back. There's a difference between fat loss mode and maintenance mode. In maintenance, I can have up to a half a cup of carbohydrate as long as I have it with a 1 and 2. Make sense? But right now, Joe, everybody, if we're trying to lose it, if I'm going to have a carb because I'm craving it, quarter cup or less with a 1 and a 2. That don't sound like much. You're not talking to yourself right. That's 4 tablespoons. Right, that don't sound like much. Well, that's 12 teaspoons. So you get 12 bites with all the other bites. And then you savor it. Get you a baby spoon out. Eat them grits with your baby spoon. Any questions about that part? Now we're going to go over, remember on Wednesday, we don't have to switch meetings. We're going to go over and then we'll tackle the journey for the members. Okay? We're going to keep talking categories here. Then you have protein plus fats. Category 4 protein plus fats are not dangerous. They're great for fat loss. You will come out of fat burning for a little while because of the fat calories. You can't overeat it. It works like category 3. You got to control the portion, but the reason it's different than a category 3 is it doesn't spike the fat bus. It can actually slow it down some. So the deal with a category 4 during the weight loss mode, I cannot have it with a category 3. I cannot have it with a category 5. If you do, now you've got the insulin activity, and it's easily going to grab the fat that was in the food and shuttle it into your fat stores, and you're going to store the fat, and it can do that even if you're in a calorie deficit. Insulin and fat, they stick together. They're very attracted to each other. Is everybody with me? It's like, what's a stupid analogy to use? It's like Brad Pitt and what's that Friends girl? Jennifer Aniston. Yeah. So insulin and fat in the same space is attracted to each other like Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston. If you want to look at it a different way, if you're Bible-based, is attracted to each other, maybe like Samson and Delilah by Cindy. Everybody with me? No category 3s, no category 5s on a plate with a 4. What does that look like? Exchange Rib Shack, I get a hand, cover that ribs. If there's some that won't fit under my hand, I take that home and have it for another eating episode. And then I have some green beans. That's a 4 plus a 2. Now I'm rocking. I'm doing good again. If I'm looking at a tater though, and I want that tater or that corn so bad, you better talk yourself out of it, because you just took a great fat burning meal and turned it into a fat storing meal. So choose carefully who you put in the same room together. Then you've got your category 5 fruit. Category 5 fruit operates just like a category 3. The only time we want to be eating fruit alone is for our members who have real issues with their diabetes and their blood sugar drops so low because they're controlling insulin better, controlling blood sugar better with food combining. You can have some low glycemic fruit to get your blood sugar up without calling it a holiday. So berries and apples and those are the ones you kind of want to stick to. Berries and apples they're preferred. I wouldn't get mad if you had a peach, if your blood sugar dropped out, but otherwise I need to eat it like a dessert. So when I'm in the weight loss mode, for me, that looks like if I had some grilled chicken and I had a salad with approved dressing, I might have some melon for dessert. But hear this, if I'm at a cookout and I have my lunch and I'm having an approved hot dog, I have to eat that fruit within 30 minutes of eating that meal, because if I wait too long, it's like having it by itself. Did that make sense? Does all this really matter as long as my calories are low? It absolutely matters. too much insulin, no EFB. All you're seeing is weight loss and weight gain that is water and sugar. You have
Travis,
to get in EFB to burn fat efficiently. Yes.
so if I ate a hot dog and if I wanted, if it was on a cookout, is that correct that we could eat an apple with it? Is that right?
That's right. So now,
A half an apple?
probably a good medium-sized apple would be fine. But watch, just so, because everybody listening, I think you know, if I'm at a cookout and they're using a regular old ballpark Frank, can I still do that?
No.
I got to take my Franks, right?
Yes.
So if you're having an approved category 1 Frank, preferably 97% lean Hebrew National, you can have a smoked white turkey Frank, but it's got starch. So you're adding that starch to the fruit, not so good, but it'll work. But the Hebrew National have almost no starch in them. That's why they're small. And then you can bathe them in a little MCT and they'll still taste like full fat. But now, if you use that Frank and then you use a -2 or -3 bun, and you put your condiments on there that are approved, and then you want that apple for dessert or with it, doesn't matter to me, that would be allowed. That's a 1 + 2 + 5. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Yep, that's how I eat my fruit. I love to cook out. I make the best hamburgers. I use 97% lean ground beef. I love to season it with spices, and I'll even put a condiment's worth of like feta cheese in it, make me a patty, and then I'll use a -2 or -3 bun, a little reduced sugar ketchup, some mustard, pickle. I'll have the best hamburger, and then I'll have some fruit with it. It's such a good meal. Now, am I coming out of fat burning for a while? Yeah, for an hour or two, but then I'm right back in, because the lean meat and the fibrous bread slowed the blood sugar response down. Everybody, does that make sense, everybody? So there's a question from Deborah. Where do I find the negative information? I think I know what you mean. You're talking about the weight loss meter. So if I'm making my own decisions about what to eat, and Travis isn't around and nobody's around, when I go to the food library, you'll see a number associated with most of the foods and recipes. 0 means neutral. If you follow the instructions, 0 means it is not going to hurt you, but it's not going to help you either. If it's a -1, it means this is something you should do more often. If it's -2 or -3, how fast you want to lose body fat. If you follow the instructions, the more negative the number, the better. The more positive numbers, those foods, there's a feeling that those foods are not approved. They are approved. These are items that you should have occasionally. If you focus too much on the positive number of foods, then you're going to see a slowdown and could possibly see weight gain depending on how much weight that you have left to lose. Make sense? That helps you make decisions, and you can filter it in the library. So if I want to go, I just love this program. I wish everybody loved it as much as some of us do. It's just amazing, right? So I can go in here, go to my food library, and I can go to breads or just type in bread and I'll find even more bread. I'm going to go down here though. I think there's still a bread category somewhere. Let's see. I usually just type bread. There it is, bread. So I click bread, and in my filter, look at all these breads, but I want good weight loss breads. Are there any -2 or -3? Let's see. This means they're going to break down more like a green bean than they do a bread, but they taste like bread. Look at all these breads. When I started 20 years ago, y'all, I found one tortilla and one bread that I didn't even like. That was it. Now look at all these breads and tortillas and amazing things that we have that are a -2. Isn't that awesome? So it tastes like bread, but it's breaking down in your body more like a green bean. Any questions or comments? We're about to switch to the journey. We didn't go over category 6 and 7, but you're getting the gist of it. They're categorized for you in the beginning so that you can learn where to put them. What about meal replacements like legendary cinnamon roll? It is a -2. There's a reason for that, Melanie. So I have an algorithm that I go by, okay? So sometimes I rate the food purely on the breakdown of the nutrients, purely on. Like broccoli, I break it down purely on the nutrients. When something has extreme portion control, and I know that I need clients to stay under their calories and I'm not going to get any significant blood sugar impact, I will sometimes use a negative rating to steer you in that direction. Make sense? In other words, if I was your coach and we're working one-on-one and you said, I love those legendary Pop-Tarts, I'd go, oh, okay. Those are great for your weight loss program. Use that as a meal. It's not to say that it is as well and as a healthy a food as a -2 or -3 broccoli. That's not what we're saying. Our program is about tackling the first issue at hand, the issue that if we tackle, we cure up all the other problems, and that is excess body fat. So I love incorporating meal replacements for new members that won't cook. You imagine being me and all the excuses I hear every day. So if I catch something that somebody likes and it's good for them, I'll drive it home. I'll just beat it to death. That's what I do with the weight loss meter. Can you show us where to go to get our customized meal plan based on hearted food? I can. And keep in mind, it's still learning. All this will get prettier as I have more funds to do so. So I'm going into my dashboard, and then I'm going over here to, I don't know if y'all all have all of this stuff yet. I know Faithfully Fit members have the testing meal plan, and it's not spelled right, by the way. My developer speaks multiple languages, but sometimes English is not his first language. So this is testing, and then you even have this one with the combinations. This will give you some food combination ideas based upon your likes. Then you have here testing. So here's how you do it. So I'm in my account and I'm saying I want the fastest weight loss. I want those turbo ones. I want to really blitz some fat. I need 4 serving recipes and I need 5 different meal ideas. And I've hearted, you mark all these that you want your assistant to look at for you. Then you generate. And it's going to take it a minute because it's actually thinking. It's looking at what you like. How do I put this together so that she might think this tastes good? All that kind of stuff. Sometimes it'll do some wonky stuff and we fix it. But most of the time it's spot on. We got to give it a minute. Let it do its job. It's not just a formula. It looks at all of your interactions throughout your account from the time that you first logged in until now. Okay, so let's see if it's ready. Nope, still thinking. Here it is. So it comes up with sumptuous seafood stir fry because I like that. It knows that I like seafood. That's why y'all keep seeing so much seafood on mine when I run this, because I love seafood. That's my favorite thing in the world. Shrimp, bell peppers, and awesome MCT, and it puts it together, soy sauce, garlic powder. It's going to be delicious. I can look and tell. It gives me the macronutrients based upon my personal needs. Lean turkey and asparagus delight. Codfish and broccoli boost. Turkey breast with hemp heart harmony. Spicy grilled chicken and okra feast. It's getting better with the names. So fun stuff. Chicken breast, okra gives me the recipe. 320 calories per serving, 42 grams of protein, almost no fat bus, and 14 grams of awesome fat. Awesome stuff. Does that make sense, everybody? And if you need somebody to do it for you, we also offer personalized meal plans based upon your macros. But this thing is quickly catching up with my knowledge. Anybody got any questions or comments before we skip over to the journey? Do y'all think that all that's worth $2.50 a week? Thanks, Jennifer.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Joy. All of the partners and Faithfully Fit members in the next couple of weeks, assuming God tarries, God's coming. You'll also see some buttons in there that help with the behavior modification side. You'll be able to pull up, for example, I'm struggling with discipline. Give me some word on discipline. You'll be able to click a button that says, you want to read through the New Testament every month. Here's a reading schedule. There's all kind of fun stuff coming. The more we can get you to engage with the website, we know the better the results are for those clients. It's funny to look and see the people using the website versus those that use it less frequently. And the more pages that someone's using, the better the weight loss. So it's about engaging with the content, the tools, the resources, and live class. Live class and journaling and the FastTrack badge seem to be the three things that really put people in a good place. Everybody good? Okay. All right. So we're going to close out in prayer, and we'll take about a 1 minute quick break, and we'll come back to the journey, the members only part of what we do. All right. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in the earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day, Lord, our daily bread, and forgive us of our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen.